Morning, all of you. Welcome back to our course, Big Data Analytics and Business Intelligence. In yesterday's lecture, we discussed about orientation, what is the importance of this, what we are going to learn, and all this thing. Now, from today onwards, we are going to start each and every topic in detail. So, our today's topic is Introduction to Big Data Analytics and Business Intelligence. Maybe you may feel that few topics are repeated, but the difference between yesterday's lecture and today's lecture is that today I will cover in depth. Yesterday I have just given you the outline that what we are going to discuss in this particular syllabus. So that we have seen yesterday, but now from today onwards we are going to discuss each and every topic in detail. So very first thing, why big data? Why there is a need of a big data? So the answer is very simple. Big data is a part of our life. Can we say that big data is a part of our life? Yes, we can. Why? Because knowingly or unknowingly we are data generator. Now you can ask question, how I can be a data generator? Because ultimately everyone is using Facebook. Everyone is using Facebook. Most of the person using LinkedIn, social networking sites. So there you are posting some kind of blog, there you are posting some comment, there you are uploading videos, file, audio file, video file, and so on. That means you are creating the data, so that data has to be stored somewhere. So that's why you are also a part of a big data. That's why I'm saying that big data is a part of our life. In our day-to-day life, we are generating a data. Everybody is contributing for data generation. Everybody is contributing. No one can say that I am not generating any kind of data. So here I have given few statistics for that. Twitter can generate approximate 8 TB of data every day. Every day Twitter generates 8 TB of data. Facebook generates around 500 terabytes of data daily. I'm talking about this. Then New York Stock Exchange generates 1 TB of trade data per day. Every day New York Stock Exchange generating 1 TB of data. Then again Jet Engine generates 10 TB of data in 30 minutes. Yeah, you know that in case of flight there is a called of a black box. Okay, that is important. It share the very information about the flight particular plane. It will share the information. So jet engine generates 10 TB of data in 30 minutes. So every second, each and every second, the data is being generated. And we need to store that data, we need to process that data, we need to analyze that data, and we need to get some kind of analysis or pattern. We need to derive some kind of pattern from huge amount of data. That's why I can say that data is a part of our life. Okay, the next one is big data can be part of our professional life too also. Yesterday I discussed about it, how big data can be a part of your professional life. How? Because in this big data you can pursue your career. Now again the question is how I can contribute to big data, how can I be a part of this. See, in most of the organization every day a huge amount of data is being generated. So from that data you need to extract some pattern, you need to use that data to improve your business. Nowadays every business is utilizing the concept of a big data. If you take an example of Facebook is there, LinkedIn is there, YouTube is there, Google is there. These are the major technology giants are there, but still they are making use of this data which is generated every day in order to improve their business. So in that case, so it's a complete life cycle. First of all, you need to gather the data from multiple resources. That means data collection is there. After collecting the data is in the different format. As you are collecting the data from the different resources, so that data is present in different format. So in that case, a number of problems may arise. There is a problem of missing values, some data is there which is not in the range. So a number of problems may be there, the data which you have gathered. So you need to pre-process the data. So that is called as the data pre-processing. So the data which is collected, that data has to be stored somewhere. After storing the data, you need to integrate it. After that, you need to pre-process the data so that you will represent the data in a appropriate format. Yesterday we have seen a simple example of that book, that whenever related to book I share some information but I am not representing that information in a appropriate format, then it is very difficult to understand this. So in the same way, suppose you want to become a part of this data science project, data science industry, you can pursue your career, because a number of huge openings are there related to big data as well as the data science. So here just observe this diagram. Here it mentioned 2 years, 2010 and 2030. So it is a graph. What that graph represent? This graph represent increase in the quantity of data year by year. Now we are here exactly in the middle, 2020. We are currently in the 2020, so we are here. So still that much amount of data to be generated in the future also. So you should be prepared. You need to be a part of that big data life cycle. How to process the data, how to store the data, how to analyze the data, how to visualize the data. So still lot many technology to come. So from 2010 you can see that this graph is gradually increasing day by day, year by year, month by month, second by second, and minute by minute. So in 2030 it is expected to reach over here 72 yottabyte. Okay, 78 yottabyte. This is how prediction is. In the 2030 we can reach up to this particular level. So this much amount of data can be generated. So suppose that much data is generated, you have to play a role. As I told you, what role you can play. You can be involved in data pre-processing, collection, then you can say visualization. Okay, so a number of steps are involved, and a number of stages are involved in the life cycle of a big data. So you have a very bright career if you pursue your career in the field of big data. So I hope you understand why we need to study a big data, why big data is important, and day by day the data is being generating rapid speed. Now next one is, what is big data? Okay, whether this diagram represents what is the big data. See, this is the data in the maybe in the 2002 2003, and now this is a data now in today's world. This is how a big data is. So what is a big data? Big data is a collection of large data set that cannot be processed using traditional computing technique. Traditional computing technique means what? Traditionally we have algorithm, traditionally we have networking devices, but their speed is slow. Okay, before that means traditionally we are using Pentium 3, Pentium 4, i3 dual core is there, core 2 duo is there, then i3 comes, then currently i5 is there, i7 is also there. So that much processing speed is being increased. Similarly for storage is concerned, hard disk size is increases, the speed of RAM is also increases. Traditionally we didn't have GPUs are there. Nowadays GPU is available for faster processing of data that is related to deep learning as well as the machine learning. So that is the thing, that it's a collection of huge amount of data. Big data is a collection of huge amount of data which cannot be processed using traditional computing technique, but you require a latest technique, parallel processing. You require parallel processing so that you will process the data and you will get the result in very quick time. Then 90% of the available data has been created in last few years. As I told you that before Facebook, maybe you are aware about Orkut is there. So at that time social networking is also there, but people are not that much attracted towards that. That much data is not generated. But as soon as Facebook comes into a market, a huge amount of data is being generated. Traditionally when Facebook was invented, initially they were use MySQL database to store their data, but as soon as the Facebook gets popular, it is generating a huge amount of data, and that too data is a unstructured kind of data. So they are shifted from the MySQL MySQL database to NoSQL database. Currently they are using Cassandra. So this makes, in order to satisfy the current need, they have shifted from that MySQL database to Cassandra database. That's why we are saying that 90% of the available data has been created in last few years, because in the last few years we are very much connected socially. We are using, everything is online now. In this period of corona, everybody is online, everybody is accessing course, everybody is using social networking site, everybody is posting their order. Okay, everybody is using e-commerce site. Means in this pandemic period of corona, everybody is using that particular websites, and through which they are responsible for data generation. So this is how the quantity of data is being generated day by day. That's why we are saying that the 90% of available data has been created in last few years. Again, the term big data was invented in the year of 2005 by O'Reilly Media, and at that time also Hadoop was came. Okay, the first time the concept of Hadoop. Later on, in this unit we are going to discuss about Hadoop framework. Hadoop is again one of the open source framework which was invented in the year of 2005 in order to deal with a big data, because in that year they come to know that we are now moving towards the data era of a data. So we required some new mechanism. Now today we can say that Hadoop is not sufficient, so another technologies are there. After Hadoop, Spark is there, again a number of technologies are there. Means in order to meet the current need, you require a updation in the technology. So after Hadoop there will be the Spark framework. Spark framework is also faster as compared to the Hadoop. So this is how, what is a big data. Big data, in short, you need to remember, it's a huge amount of data. Now the next topic is, what are the types of big data. Okay, so majorly there are three types of big data is there. One is a structured data, second is a semi-structured data, and third one is a unstructured data. Yesterday I have given some outline about that, but today I am going to discuss in detail. So these are the three types of data which you observe in big data. So what is the first? Structured data. Now what is the specialty of structured data? Structured data means what? The data which is stored in the specific format. Say in case of relational database, we have used Oracle database. So Oracle is a RDBMS, and RDBMS stores their data in the form of table. So in case, suppose we are storing our data in the form of table, then the data stored in the table is considered as a structured data, because it follows specific structure. Table is having rows as well as the column. So that data is called as a structured data. So handling of a structured data is somehow easier as compared to handling of a unstructured data, because structured data follows a specific format. So traditionally our data is a structured data, but as soon as popularity of social networking is there, use of internet is increased, so we comes into the era of unstructured data. So the data which is stored in the form of specific format is called as a structured data. For example, data stored in the table. Now the next concept is semi-structured data. So what is semi-structured data? Semi-structured data can contain both the forms of data. Okay, that means in this case we are going to discuss about three types: structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. So semi-structured data is a combination of structured data as well as unstructured data. That means in case of a semi-structured data, what you can say, it follows a partial format. It's not following complete format, but it's following a semi-structured data is those data which follow a format partially. Okay, for example, XML data, for example, JSON data. You observed about XML data. So we are storing in the various tags we are using various tags in that XML. So that XML data we can call it as a semi-structured data, and this generally we use in various technologies also. And third type of data is a unstructured data. Now what is unstructured data? Any data which do not have any particular form. For example, in case of structured data, we have seen we are storing generally our data in form of table, but in unstructured data there is no specific format fixed for the data. The data can be in the form of comment, the data can be in the form of blog, data can be in the form of audio file, data can be present in the form of video file, it can be a notepad file, it can be a word file, and so on. That means specific structure is not fixed. In case of structured data, a specific structure is fixed, but in unstructured data the structure is not fixed. There is no specific structure given for unstructured data. So here I mentioned few examples. Data present in the form of word file, PDF file, text file, media file, log file, blog file. Suppose we are using YouTube, so history is there, so that data is stored over there. So this is what a unstructured data, and unstructured data is a reason why the term big data comes into existence. Okay, the main reason behind the existence of a big data is what? Unstructured data. So day by day you observe that unstructured data is increases because it is faster way. Means whenever we need to follow particular structure, it takes a time, but suppose we have been given a flexibility to store our data in the multiple formats, so it will be easier for us, but that data is called as a unstructured data. So these are the three types of big data: structured data, semi-structured data, and structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. So we have seen example also. Now the next topic is characteristics of a big data. What are the characteristics of a big data? So traditionally, suppose you observe, you find that there are only three characteristics are there. One is a velocity, second one is a veracity, first one is a velocity, second one is a variety, and third one is a volume. These are the only three characteristics are there traditionally for big data, but nowadays there are 5 characteristics are there. What are the two additional? Veracity and value. So one by one we will discuss all these characteristics. So very first is volume of a data. Volume, first V stands for volume. Volume is what? A amount of a data, huge amount of data. So one characteristics of a big data is what? Huge, because we have seen a definition, it's a huge amount of data. So volume represent amount of data that you have generated. So this is a small diagram where you observe this data is generated in a huge speed. This currently you can see that this graph is moving in a upward direction. That means every day a huge amount of data is being generated. So first characteristics is a volume. Now second is a variety of data. Variety of data means data present in a different format. Just now we discuss about three types: structured, unstructured, and semi-structured. So the different types of data is considered as a variety. Okay, it's a variety of a data. That is a second characteristics of a big data. Now the third characteristics is velocity. Velocity means what? Speed. Velocity is nothing but a speed at which data is being generated. So we have taken a simple example of a share market. In case of a share market, it generates information minute by minute or second by second. That means we can say that it's a real-time data. Real-time data means what? The data which is generated in the secondly, minutely, continuously. The data which is generated continuously, that is considered as a real-time data. So velocity represent a speed at which your data is being generated. So traditionally these are three characteristics of a data, but nowadays two more characteristics is being added. So fourth one is veracity. Veracity means what? Consistency of a data, quality of a data. Veracity represents the quality of a data. Quality of a data means what? See, yesterday I told you that only having a data is not sufficient one. Nowadays, can we say that every company is growing? No, because the company who is using traditional technology, they are not growing. The company who is following a latest technology, they are growing. So everyone is having a data, but it's up to you. How will you utilize the data for the benefit of your own organization? So that is important. So the data, quality of a data is again very much important thing. Okay, so quality means what? The data which do not have missing value, the data which is authenticated in nature. Suppose you have collected a particular data but you are not collected it from authorized source, so we can't say that this data is a good quality. So quality can be measured in terms of authenticity of data, whether the data is authenticated or not. See, anybody can generate a data. Suppose I just open one file and just writing 1 2 3 4 5 and randomly I'm writing a name, whether it is considered as a valid data? No. But suppose you want to improve your business, for example, in case of a social networking, Facebook or Amazon, say Amazon want to improve their business, so they need to reach more and more people, so they require the data of people, that in what product more people are interested, what quality given, what review they are given, what are the problem that they face. Suppose you are getting that kind of data, you can target their problem. But suppose you are not getting appropriate data, quality data, then it is of no use. So nowadays, fourth parameter or four characteristics of a big data is veracity. Now the fifth characteristics of a big data is a value. Okay, value is again important. How you utilize the data, that is also a important thing. That we can say that this is very valuable product. When you say that valuable product, when its utility is there. See, in your house n number of products are there. Can you say that everyone is a valuable product? No. The thing which is used very frequently, the thing which helps you to grow your business, to grow you, that thing we can say that it's a valuable. So that is the thing. Though you have a huge amount of data, you need to extract some pattern, you need to analyze that, you need to obtain some important information. So that represents the value, and value of data is very much important. So I hope you understand about this topic, characteristics of a big data. So here we'll stop. In tomorrow's lecture we'll cover more topic. Thank you.